You know the famous line, man bites dog? In journalism, it's meant to describe how an unusual event is more likely to be reported on. Well, in the event of a dog biting someone, unusual or not, there's only one man to call. Attorney Jeremy Cohen, known as the Boston dog lawyer, he's been defending these dogs in court since 2016. He joined us after being profiled in Globe magazine for his unique work. Jeremy, welcome. Look, first question, how did you get into this business?
That question, my parents still ask me that question 7 years later, 8 years later. Close to home, my stepkids, their dad, they had a dog, a German Shepherd. And one day we get a call and Jesse had bit somebody. And I knew Jesse because we would have custody of Jesse every few weeks, my wife and I. And so I went to this hearing. Anytime a dog bites somebody or another dog, pretty much around the country, they hold a dangerous dog hearing. And that night, about 35 people came to the hearing, and every one of them wanted Jesse killed. And I started hearing about what a monster this Jesse was. I'm thinking, I know Jesse, he's not like that at all. That just didn't seem right. I mean, it wasn't the type of law I practiced, but I just didn't think killing Jesse was the right thing. And to this day, we appealed it. We won. Jesse lived for another 5 years. He died of old age.
Well, this is a heartwarming story, but you can't possibly know all the Jessies, right? All of the dogs out there that come across or come into your office, you can't know them all. So how do you pick and choose which dog to defend?
I'm not a dog trainer. I'm not a dog behavior expert, but there are people who are. There's a huge population of educated people, doctors, who study pet behavior, and they can evaluate a dog. And what we do is we go back in time. I want to know the history of the dog. I want to know what happened on that day. Had the dog been fed? What was the person who got bit doing? What was the dog that may have got bit doing? And you start to throw facts in the face of these hearing authorities, and suddenly you compel them to have to pay attention.
Jeremy, I can hear the compassion that you have for these dogs in your voice, but when you're in a courtroom and you are opposite someone who's been bitten or mauled or attacked by a dog you're defending, how do you have compassion for the victim, and what do you say?
We don't want to remind everybody about what happened. We want to tell everybody, here's what we're going to do about it in terms of changing the dog's behavior. But sometimes the victim may have contributed. And in Massachusetts, the law against dangerous dogs has some provisions that can say it wasn't the dog's fault. And that's if the person was teasing, tormenting, trespassing. And in the Globe article, there is a case about Midnight who bit a boy on the arm. And it turns out every day before that, he would throw rocks at the dog behind a fence. But on this day, Midnight was not behind the fence. And so they sentenced the dog to be killed. And we brought forward that information, and Midnight survived because it's possible for somebody to provoke a dog. And we just want to make sure that we get to the right decision the right way.
You've called yourself a dog lawyer. You said, my parents still trying to figure out what I do. But you're a lot more than just a dog lawyer, right?
It's become that. I had no idea what was out there when I started the firm, but we've dealt with snakes. We had a great snake case out of Worcester. Rabbits, turtles, cats, horses, elephant case, beavers. We have an iguana case, pigs. We have 2 pig cases right now. Ugly as anything, but there's somebody who loves that pig, and that pig loves somebody, and we want to try to keep them together. So it's been pretty interesting, and then we've got into these pet custody cases. They live together, they get a pet together, and when they break up, they have a battle over who gets to keep the pet. And that's really half of the volume of our cases right now.
Ace Ventura might have been the pet detective, but we've got Jeremy Cohen, their lawyer. Thank you so much for joining us on Boston Globe Today.
Thank you for having me.
For daily access to Boston Globe Today, all segments and episodes are available on demand in the Boston Globe app by clicking Watch.